No one in this world can you trust. Not men, not women, not beasts. This you can trust.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Glory of Golden State Gaming. I'm your host, Swamp Swimmer, and with me as always, the salt to my pepper, Vespacian.
Hey everybody, nice one.
So, you know what? We haven't done this in a little while. Oh, anyway, quick housekeeping. You guys know the deal. If you please like and subscribe on YouTube, and please hit that follow button on Twitch. I greatly appreciate it. But, let's play that good old game that we like to play. What would this character be in the Ninth Age?
Yes. Okay.
And I haven't even thought about this yet, so I don't know what to think. What would Peter Pan be in the Ninth Age?
Well, Peter Pan doesn't grow up, right?
Yeah.
And he is kind of off fighting pirates. So maybe the doesn't grow up trope is kind of like elfish.
Yeah, I was thinking something like Sylvan Elfish, like a Sylvan elf who gets lost in the forest kind of thing. Mystical grove that he never grows old.
Yeah, I buy that.
He's constantly fighting like Captain Hook's like an orc who got stuck in there too, or a goblin or something.
Yeah. The pirate thing's a little tough with the Sylvan, but I guess you can't have it all. But no, I mean I think elf is a good one for this one, right? He kind of magical, like there's the Peter Pan thing of like he goes and the kids all like run around after him is sort of like the whole changeling trope in the like, you know what I mean, where the elves like go and take kids from their cradles to raise them. It's kind of there. I think there's a little bit of a, I don't know. There's a sort of a cross.
There's like a
fictional meta going on there.
It's like a Grimm's fairy tale esque like.
Yeah. There you go. Exactly right. Have you ever read the what are they called? The Butcher series. The Dresden Chronicles?
No,
Dresden
I
Files?
haven't, but you've said a couple times that you really enjoy them.
Yeah, it's well, I found them really good. But yes, anyways, if I've already told you, then I don't need to belabor the point.
Well, anyway.
Yeah, I think an elf of some kind.
Elf. I think Sylvan Elf, Mystic Forest, so like some mystic realm in the forest that doesn't grow old. Yeah. He goes and tempts other young people of the Ninth Age world into coming into this realm, never growing old. I like that. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Let's get to the game. Back to the game. All right, here we go. Double, bam. So last we left off, we were at Sactown Smackdown in Sacramento, California, 2022. And we went over my first game where I played some warriors. Oh, I played Micah. Great opponent, and I came through with a small win. But you got paired into randomly round one. Another Warriors of the Dark Gods list, but this time Travis, who's he a great player. He's been around. He usually plays Vermin Swarm. So I'm surprised to see him play Warriors of the Dark Gods. We'll see how this goes. It's the same deployment, same secondary, King of the Hill, Refused Flank. If you are interested in our thoughts on Vespacian's list, his Highborn list, or Travis's list, click the link right above my head. It'll take you to the list review video for Sactown Smackdown. But let's go ahead and look at Travis's list. Oh, there you go. Take us through it.
Yeah, so he's got actually one part is very similar to yours. He's got the big Doom bust, right? So the Doom Lord with the 1-up, 5-up. He went Touch of Greatness, so he's Strength 7. you know, pretty beefy unit. I also like his spike shield Forsworn better than Micah's, right? With you know, the fact that he can bounce back the hits with them is really great.
Yeah.
He's got a Chosen Lord on Karkanon with Envy and an Entropic Aura, so shuts down all your, you know, all your items, which
That's
is pretty
scary,
nasty
man.
for some of my dragons.
That's scary. That can really mess you up. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a Wizard Master on Alchemy with Scroll and Veilgate Orb. So, you know, pretty magic light, just the 4 spells. Got 2 units of 10 warriors, 3 units of 5 fallen, 5 chosen knights of envy, which is where the chosen lord goes. 5 Feldrax with paired weapons, the Forsworn bus as mentioned, and then 5 barbed horsemen for a little bit of chaff. So yeah, it's an interesting list. It's really based around that big Doom bus, the big Feldrek block, and the big Chosen Knight block, right? So 3 heavy hitters coming your way, basically.
Yeah, I remember this list. Definitely, this is a Warriors of the Dark Gods core build. That's very unique, very different. The three units of 5 fallen is really interesting. Specifically against you, I think this is a little bit of a scary matchup. I think the Chosen Knights, the Feldrakes, the Forsworn can take on your dragons.
Yeah.
But you're applying some range pressure, but not heavy range pressure. So what do you think?
Yeah, I actually think list to list I was okay with this matchup because I think he has a hard time catching the dragons or really any meaningful points. But you know, I do think that the mission's king of the hill, right? So I have to both go and get one of his and also keep him off of mine, and I think there isn't really, you know, anything short of like dogpiling it with half of my army that can take that Forsworn brick off, right?
Yeah.
So it's tough. I think the Lions are a really key piece in this match, right? Because they can tear apart the Chosen Knights and the Feldrax in theory. And so, yeah, I just was kind of hoping I could get the right matchups and use my, you know, superior mobility to get some good multi charges in, basically.
You know, it all makes sense. Let's see. In this first picture, this is deployment in Vanguard.
Right. Yes. So I forgot to put the scouts out until just after this picture. As you can see, they're balanced on top of that tower. So if I recall correctly, I had first turn. Yeah. So basically, Travis got to pick the sides, and he chose the field on the right-hand side as the thing that he wanted to keep me out of. And then I picked the forest in the center that I wanted to keep him out of. And, as you know, I dropped everything for first turn. And, you know, my main goal essentially was to try to have the Lions and the 2 units of Lancers able to sort of push towards his objective, and then I was, you know, relying on using the spears and the big dragon to try to zone things off of mine, essentially. So yeah, that was the setup. So left to right, I've got my 35 spears, the pyromancy master mage on dragon there. The general, the 10 Grey Watchers non-scouting in the forest there, the BSB on the green dragon, and then the Lions in the middle there with the 2 units of Lancers behind them, and then the little alchemy mage on the young dragon on the right-hand side in the blue. And I had the Reavers somewhere and Vanguarded them up.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Where did you end up putting the scouts?
I ended up putting him deep in the back. He hadn't fully zoned out that back corner, which is one of the nice things about refused flank with the scouts. So I ended up just putting him in the back, and then on his side, I guess my left to right, unit of Fallen, one of his 10-man unit of warriors, another unit of Fallen, the Feldrax, his other 10-man unit of warriors that had his sorcerer master just directly, they were hiding behind the building. The 5 chosen knights of envy with the entropic lord, the 7 forsworn with the doom lord, 5 more fallen, and then the 5 barbed horsemen.
Interesting.
Yeah, and terrain-wise, I think it's all pretty self-explanatory. It's ruins in the upper left there. We got a hill kind of slightly out of sight on the left on my side,
Oh.
um, and then a hill in the very back there that didn't come into play at all, and then a building on the either two impassables, the tower in the middle and the building on the right-hand side that didn't play a big role. So yeah, I was relatively happy. I basically just wanted to push with a lot of weight into that right hand side, and I was pretty happy if I could manage the chaffing properly to have the one-on-one matchup between the Chosen Knights and the Lions, because I think that goes pretty well. So yeah, so I vanguarded here and then on to my turn one, I think, right?
Yeah. So this is saying
there you go.
top of one. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can see the Grey Watchers in the back up there. They scouted and then moved up, and so basically what I did was I just kind of shuffled around. I started moving my spears kind of out to make it a little bit more painful for him to round the building with the Feldrax, right? If he starts to come into the center, then the spears are in his flank. I kept the center relatively, where it was, just moved the lines up a little bit, but out of anything but like a double six, I think, charge range. And then I started pulling the alchemy mage out to the right because I wanted him to be able to start shooting flank shots with the silver spike.
Yep, that makes sense.
The Chosen Knights or the Forsworn. And otherwise, I just kind of shuffled my lances around to be ready to make big moves onto the objective, and yeah, that was about it. So I basically just didn't really give a lot of great charges or any at all.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, that was my bad.
Nope. Almost.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I think I think it's a great matchup. You're right. The Knights, the Chosen Knights again, your Lions is great, but the problem is the Forsworn's right there too.
Yeah. So I need to figure out how to take those matchups in steps, right? That's the goal. So I need to see, I'm happy to play a standoff game with him if he's worried about that matchup, and then just dart the Lancers in at the last minute, right? But if he wants to fight, then I think I've got a pretty good setup, and I have both the Grey Watchers and the Reavers available to chaff, which should be pretty effective. So we'll see how he moves forward.
All right. So this is marked as bottom of one movement.
Yeah, so I did not have I did not have a very successful shooting phase. I think I took off a couple of barbarian horsemen and did like a wound or something to the Chosen Knights. Nothing really eventful. You can see that Travis has moved forward, but relatively tentatively on the right. He kind of moves forward to give me long charges, understanding that he moves faster than me, right, with the infantry. So. And he's, I guess, pretty happy to have any of my dragons come in into those big bricks on the right.
Yeah.
He turns the barbarian horsemen around to start threatening the Grey Watchers, and he starts bringing the Feldrax around the building. But this is where my positioning of the spear starts to, I think, give him a little bit of trouble, right? He needs to try to keep him in the front because he doesn't want to take, 3 ranks, big flank, charge, banner, Legion banner in the flank, right? So
yeah.
So, and then he starts to bring, and we did this dance of his fallen on the far left, kind of coming around the flank, and my spears always sort of shifting to keep him in their front. So yeah, I was pretty okay with this movement. He didn't really force the issue a lot. He didn't chaff or do anything in particular. So yeah, he basically just tried to keep everything in the front and give me long charges for the Lions.
Yeah, I think that's the right move, but we'll see how it ends up. Being very cagey at this point.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, this is top of 2.
Yeah, so basically I saw an opportunity. The way that he put the fallen on the right hand side would allow me to go into them with the dragon, clean them up, and then pivot so that his bus could not overrun into the dragon, which would position me for a flank in future turns. And then I just, I chaff at the Reavers and move the Lions up, basically. I didn't want to engage those blocks at the same time. And here's a chance if he doesn't go in with the Chosen Knight block, then basically, I'll be able to take down the Forsworn block the following turn with the Lions, the BSB, and the other dragon all at once, right?
Yeah.
So I was feeling like I had a pretty good positioning over here on the right-hand side. And then on the left-hand side, I noticed an opening where I could bring the big Master Dragon over out of arc of the Feldrax, where only that one unit of Fallen could see me. And honestly, I think I stomped that unit. So I was happy with that positioning. It had me threatening his bunker, threatening his advance. I was pretty happy there. And then with the spears, I reform wide for more attacks and shuffle to the left, and I'm just able to get my center onto the hill. And so I was pretty happy with that. I'm also out of arc of the Feldrax, so I really like that positioning.
That's nice. Yeah.
And I just barely managed to kind of cover that and also keep his warrior and fallen unit on the left-hand side in my front. So I felt pretty good. And the rest of the kind of center and back just shuffled a bit, nothing too crazy. So yeah.
All right. Wow. I think you put yourself in a good spot here.
Yeah, we'll see.
This is top of 3.
Yeah, so and unfortunately you get a little bit of a spoiler of what happens here. So basically he charges with the Chosen Knights into the Lions.
Oh boy.
And I was not able to get any buffs up, which definitely was not great. But I did debuff them with the Grey Watchers, right? So they were -1 to hit from the Fey Miasma. Yeah. And I kind of running the math, I think I should, kill most of that Chosen Knight unit with the lines that remain after they and the Lord strike before the Karkadan strike. So I was still feeling relatively okay. He charges in, he goes for it. He rolls great. I roll like crap, and he just blows through the lines. No. And they are on auto break. He pursues, catches them, and overruns into the Lancers there.
Boy.
Things are looking a little bit sideways of where I hoped. So now in my turn, I do have a couple of interesting things that I can do. So the first is because he wanted to take down the Lions and pin those Lancers, I can bring those Grey Watchers over to chaff. Mm-hmm. So I do that. Basically, whichever way he turns his Chosen Knight brick, he's gonna get caught by the Grey Watchers, and be chaffed. And the other thing that was really nice that Travis didn't see is he kind of shuffled around where, you remember my dragon was sort of over near those ruins over there to the left of the Feldrax, right? Yeah. So if you go back one picture, you can kind of get a slight visual of it. So where I am there, I can see his bunker, and where he ultimately sort of shuffles around, there is enough room for me to corner clip charge into his sorcerer on the right hand side there.
Oof.
Right. Yeah. So he didn't see that, and so we ended up moving that tower out of the way just because of where it was, but it's basically right there in between the dragon, the bunker, and the Feldrax, right? And so I get that charge in. There's not really much you can do about it. I bring the Alchemy Dragon. I think this was a little bit of a waste of a move with the Alchemy Dragon, but I guess I was maybe thinking I'd get stuck on his bunker for long enough that the Feldrax would get in or something, or that he'd turn the Chosen Knights around and come after me. So I brought the Alchemy Dragon back there to support the blue one in the back. And then I basically, his Forsworn block turned to face my Alchemy Dragon so that I wouldn't come in there. So I used that opportunity to run up with the Lancers, which is, it looks a little off here, but it's out of sight of the Feldrax. And, they basically are going to be the unit that I'm going to try to get to cover the objective in later turns, right?
Gotcha, yeah.
And then I'm happy using the spears, doing what they're doing, kind of zoning out on the left and keeping him from bringing the Feldrakes around. I pull the BSB on the Green Dragon back. Basically just, there wasn't a great place to put him with the Chosen brick there and the Feldrax coming around. I just wanted him to be safe and giving his leadership bubble. And that was kind of how I was trying to recover here. So I think we've got the next picture is
one question. Your big dragon, your general's dragon, are you out of the Feldrake's arc right now?
I am, because of where the building is.
Gotcha.
So he can't see the dragon because of where the building is. And even if I wasn't, I could have reformed so that I was like flat to the edge of the unit and kind of sticking out with my butt towards where the lancers are. You can kind of envision that. So either way, I would have been fine. But yes, he can't see me around the building, we later determined.
All right, moving on.
So yeah.
This says end of turn 3.
Okay, so basically what happens is in that last turn I go in, he has no champion in the bunker, so he challenges me out with the Wizard Master and I kill him. He sticks. And then in his turn, I finish off the bunker and actually just completely wipe it out. And then...
did you have him buffed up or something? I feel like a dragon can't do that normally.
When she gets the spell off, she goes up to 7 strength 6 attacks, and then also the Thunder Stomp and the Breath Weapon, and I can also cast the Pyro spells into the combat. So
I gotcha.
So like all the blazes were crunching him down. So yeah, just took him off by it, but I think just exactly by 1 model. And so I reform there. He's advanced up the Feldrax. He took off my Grey Watcher chaff with the Chosen Knights, and he's turned the Forsworn Bick around now, kind of seeing that everything is over here and he doesn't need to be looking the other way. And I've still got my Grey Watcher unit sort of in the back there, just causing trouble and shooting at stuff. So basically, at this point, Travis makes his move for my objective. He feels pretty confident with where the Chosen Knights are and with where the Feldrax are, that I don't have the support that I would need to take them out. So he moves up the Feldrax, and then I think we're on to my turn.
Let's see here. This is bottom 4. No.
Yeah. So a lot has changed here. So basically, in my following turn, if maybe we can go back here to the last one. Sorry. So in my turn, I think it's like a 7 or an 8 re-rollable from the spears on the hill into the flank of the Feldrax, and then I bring the other dragon, the Order of the Fiery Heart Dragon, into their flank. The other flank. So I've sandwiched the Feldrax between 35 spears and that Master Dragon. And then now we can so basically the spears and the dragon wipe the Feldrax and run them down. And they're auto break because the spears are like 9 combat res in their flank, and they just don't do a lot of damage. And so the dragon runs them down. I reform the spears so that they're facing the Chosen Knights, and then the dragon, he charges his Chosen Knights into my Master Dragon, and I flee, obviously, because I don't want to. Dragons
aren't fearless. Dragons aren't fearless.
And
wow, I didn't know that.
No.
Okay, continue.
So he flees, and then Travis decides to bring the Chosen Knights into the spears. And so we talked about this afterwards. I'm pretty sure that I have the Hereditary and maybe Flaming Swords up. I did have at least 1 buff on the spears when he did this. And so he brings them in, and the Chosen Lord kind of, and the Chosen kind of whiff a little bit. And the spears wipe the unit. Just boom. And I think there's like maybe 7, 8 wounds left in the unit. And I'm AP2. I think I was winning on 4s, like I said, hitting on 3s with 29 attacks, something like that. So I think he kind of rolled a little bad with his armor saves, but it's not that far off. I think
there's just too many wounds there, and
to
you've got AP2's enough with that many attacks, you know?
Yeah. And I think because I had the Hereditary or Word of Iron or one or the other up, I was able to mitigate a lot of the damage that he put out. And so the Lord was left on auto break, and the spears catch him. So that's now the Feldrax and the Chosen Knight Brick and the Entropic Lord that the spears have cleaned up, which is a pretty good, pretty good game for a core unit. Basically, what happens is he's turned the Forsworn Brick around, and I'm able to keep turning the Lancers around him, so he's never able to like fully cover them off of the objective. And now I have an interesting choice. I think that I might only have one more picture left, or maybe this is the last one, but now I have an interesting choice because I've got my BSB, my spears, my Grey Watchers with paired weapons, and the Order of the Fiery Heart Baby Dragon on Alchemy, all in position to charge that Forsworn Brick.
Is that enough? Is that enough?
And is that enough? So let's see. Do I have one more picture? Or is this the last one?
This is the setup. Oh, boy.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the setup. So this is where the spears ended up after they took down the Chosen Lord. So my Master Dragon rallies, and it is fine over there. I think maybe I kill the warrior unit, or I use the dragon chaff to the warrior unit, so it can't get onto my objective, basically, is what ends up happening over on the left. And over on the right, I actually end up going in.
Do you have another photo here?
Everything.
No. Okay, go ahead.
I think that's the end of it, unfortunately. So I actually do go in with everything, and I managed to take off the unit after 2 rounds of combat, which was pretty incredible. And the Doom Lord is left on a 6.
Yeah.
Rerollable, I think. Yeah, 6 rerollable.
Oh, no.
And he sticks it. But at the end of the day, I had the only guy left surrounded by like 3,000 points of my army is the Doom Lord on the right, and then I think there's a random fallen unit still over on the left, like not up to much.
Yeah. And you
out of shot, and I've basically got everything except for the Lions and that Lancer unit and that Grey Watcher unit. So it ends up being a 19-1.
Big round 1 win. I love it.
Yeah. It was an interesting game. I think that I was certainly sweating when the Lions were off.
Yeah.
In like turn 2 or 3.
I was gonna say that's an early big win for him.
But
and then like weirdly I think he got too aggressive after that with his big blocks, and you were able to like just get good charges off on them.
Yeah, exactly. I think that he totally underestimated the spears, right? Like I think that was giving them the flank. The Feldrax, I think, was a big mistake. He didn't need to do that. He could have kept the Feldrax, 16 inches away from my objective and ran them in the last turn, basically. I think that would have been a better play. And then I can't blame him. I mean, when you've got a Chosen Lord and a Chosen Knight Brick, you sort of assume that you can take off a spear unit, but it ended up going my way, and and also I think getting the bunker was big because having no magical support through the late game was
he was just trying to hide that unit behind the building, and the building wasn't wide enough. Yeah,
exactly right.
That's a very like ticky-tacky little thing. But yeah, he should have just gone 4 wide or something and ensured that the building was wide enough.
Yeah, it's hard to prevent flyers because you can do all that weird stuff where you kind of like touch the corner and then make them close to you and all that, right? Like the mechanics try to make it really hard to do what he did, I would say. he probably could have managed it, though. I think it took him a little off guard. So,
All right.
yeah.
Well, Travis, thanks for the game. You went down to a good player, so don't feel bad. But yeah, we'll move on to round 2 of Sactown Smackdown. If anyone's still watching, please hit that like and subscribe. Hit the follow on Twitch, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, everybody.